What's up everyone, Mysteriocity again appearing on your screens, this time today bringing you a video on Elisa Lam and her very strange disappearance which eventually led to her death. Firstly, I just want to wish that everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We're officially in 2018. Anyway, so this case happened 5 years ago between January and February of 2013. So Elisa was staying at the Cecil Hotel, which is actually no stranger to bizarre occurrences and a violent, gruesome, and dark past, so this wouldn't be the first time something bad has happened at the Cecil Hotel, but this particular event, her disappearance, which eventually led to her death, actually sparked an explosion over the internet, and an explosion of conspiracies and theories and just people speculating as to what it was and giving their own opinions on what they personally think was involved here. So this incident has actually become rooted in popular culture. She went missing on January 31st, 2013. So an investigation was put into play to try to find her and find out where she went, but it wasn't until less than a month later, on February 19th, that her nude body was discovered in a water tank, and in it was her clothes and other items she had floating around. A lot of people have drawn similarities to this case to the 2005 horror, air quote, film Dark Water, which starred Jennifer Connelly. Anyway, so yeah, how could her body have ended up in a water tank that is secured and held down? Later uncovered was a surveillance video of Elisa Lam in an elevator with questionably strange behavior. She is seen frequently peering in and out of the elevator, walking out, stepping back in, and then walking out but then not coming back into the elevator. So about this video, first thing I want to point out is that I find it a bit suspicious that the timestamps, as you can see, are blurred out right there. And something else that I want to point out is about 12 seconds into the video, you could see her pressing the button to close the elevator door, but then you see it opening again. Like, it doesn't want to close, like someone's keeping it open. This has led people to speculate that her killer was actually a hotel employee. This could also explain the blurred timestamp, as he wanted to keep as much information from getting out to the public and to the police as possible. And also some people claim to have noticed some jump cuts in the video, which would indicate the killer cutting out important parts of the video that could potentially incriminate him. So it's led to speculation that her killer was actually someone who probably wanted a sexual relationship with her, so then she rejected it, and then, you know, this guy started acting very strange and things like that, and very uncomfortable, and she started to get very uncomfortable, so she tries to go to the elevator, tries to escape, but then he goes back to the security room, where he then keeps the elevator open. She peers out to see if he's coming or not. He's not, and then she keeps doing that. She peers out that one time, and then, you know, that's when he gets her. But I think a flaw with this theory is that if he went back to the surveillance room, the surveillance room has surveillance in it, so if that happened, then you figure the police would have found out about that. But then also, this guy could have been very extremely smart, where he could have just erased all evidence of him being involved with this murder. So there's a lot of variables, there's a lot of things you could throw out there to explain this very strange video and Elisa Lam's very questionable behavior. Others, though, have explained that Elisa Lam's behavior was actually due to a bipolar disorder which she suffered from, and that, you know, as a result of her bipolar disorder, it caused her to act very strange every now and then, but that it still doesn't explain the elevator door getting ready to close but then going back to the opening position and not closing at all. Others say that ghosts and the paranormal were involved with it, but I highly doubt that. I just think that I personally think that one's a little bit far-fetched. So many of the residents started complaining about the water supply, saying that it had a very odd black look and it just did not look right at all. And also it had a very rotten odor. So as can be predicted, the maintenance workers had no choice but to go to the roof and investigate what was causing the problem with the water supply. That is when Elisa Lam's body was discovered in the water tank. So back to that theory of it being an employee who was Elisa's killer. It could explain how he was able to get the water tank open without like anyone really noticing, or without having to have a bunch of people over to try to help him do that, because it could have been someone, a long-term employee at the Cecil Hotel who, you know, did all kinds of things, you know, ran surveillance, did various maintenance odd jobs, so it could have been someone who knew the hotel very, very well. Wouldn't he figure that dumping a dead body in a water tank where residents drink from and use it for all other necessities, wouldn't he think that residents would know about this, and then, you know, yeah, they would report it, or then, you know, he could have perhaps wanted that to happen, and then he did that thinking he would not get caught, which, you know, he still hasn't 5 years later. No one's been caught. But yeah, it also brings up the question, like, why the water tank? If he killed her, then, like, why dispose of her body in the very same building that you killed her in? It's like, why not take her body to a field and bury it there? Nevertheless, so I guess it's a good thing he disposed of her body in the water tank, because then, you know, they were able to find her body, and, you know, confirm that she had died at the Szesztay Hotel, so I guess that isn't such a bad thing. This whole case raises so many questions, but offers very, very few answers. Obviously, Elisa was killed, and she was killed at the Szesztay Hotel, and her body was disposed of in the water tank, but that's about all that can really be gathered. The rest is just speculation and theories. I'd have to say the most logical theory of this is that it was someone who worked at the hotel, because that would explain the blurred timestamp, the elevator door closing and then opening again. Also, how Elisa's body wound up in the water tank with seemingly no one noticing until, you know, obviously the residents noticed something wrong with the water. So yeah, it's a very, unsettling video to watch, and just one that just makes you wonder, what is she doing? I mean, what is she hiding from? What floor was she on when this happened? Was she trying to go to the roof? Was she trying to get, to the first floor of the hotel to maybe escape? It's like, what floor was she on? That question has never been answered. Elisa Lam was described by friends and family as being very nice and smart, and, you know, very undeserving of what she got. You know, a good person overall. That's what many people would describe her as overall. So yeah, what do you think of all this? I mean, do you think it was something to do with the paranormal, which I really don't think it was? Do you think it was something to do with a bipolar disorder, or an employee who was working at the hotel who set this whole thing up and planned all the thing out and tried to get rid of as much information as he possibly could in order to not be incriminated by the police? Or do you think it was something else entirely? Do you have another explanation? Whatever your thoughts, whatever your opinions, leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any mysterious footage you've captured, whether photo or video on whatever kind of device, send it to me via my email, which will be posted in the description below or in the outro card at the end of this video. I wish you all a happy 2018. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, peace out!